Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel for another exciting and fun-filled episode on this Passagemaker dinghy build series. We got lots to do, so let's get at it. Okay then, so we left off the last episode. I finished up getting the rub rails on this side of the boat now, and then the last 2 days I've gone ahead and got the rub rail on this side of the boat. So we're all in there good. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and spend some time to clean up the rub rails here and trim them off so that I'm not getting poked by these long bits sticking out. So I got them both on the front and the back to trim off. The one thing I was going to point out is I did make a mistake here when I put the outside screw in. I hadn't allowed for wanting to cut these off, so you can see if I cut them off, it's going to be, it's going to be a close call there. So I've taken this screw out. I think once I'm done with the cleanup, I'll be taking out all the outside screws, and then where the holes are left, I'll just come back later and put in some thickened epoxy there to clean those up. And for the outside, for the inside, I'm still thinking about it. I think they might be okay, but we'll wait till we get to the inside to finish that up before we go and take those screws out. But anyways, I'm going to get busy on this. I'm going to try the oscillating tool that I've got and use that for the sanding instead of the random orbital sander, because I want to try to square it off first before I try to round this corner off. They talk about rounding this outside edge off with a router and going along with smaller and smaller steps so as not to get any tension and tear out from this outside rub rail, because it is under a lot of tension. And anyways, we'll see how we do there, and if I want to just try to sand it over or if we use a router. Anyways, let me go ahead and get going on this, and we'll see where we end up at. All right, then I just have my multi-oscillator tool here and the sandpaper attachment and some 80 grit sandpaper on here. See if we can knock this out pretty good. And I can lock this in place. Well, it's definitely going to take a lot longer than I thought. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have to do quite a bit more here than I thought to get all three pieces lined up. And you can see there's still a pretty decent epoxy line here. And this sandpaper isn't going to last very long. I'm wondering if I just get the big belt sander out and try that, but I'm afraid that'll take that just eats through material pretty quick. A small finger one I have. Let me pause here and see if I've got like 180 or 220 grit sandpaper for my big belt sander. Maybe I'll give a try at that one. All right, so I got my big belt sander here at 180 grit. So let's see what kind of damage this does. All right, that's a little bit better. It's kind of weird how this is going to take a lot more work than I thought. For instance here, I was flush with this guy, but now this guy's sticking up. So I've almost got a concave section here that I want to kind of try to level off. So I'm going to go ahead and switch up to 120 grit, just so hopefully we can get through this a little bit quicker. All right, 120 grit. Let's see what fits. Alrighty. All right, we're starting to get there. It's going to be quite a bit of sanding though, I think. And I think I'm probably going to have to go get some more belt sandpaper. Yeah, I do want to get, let's see if we can cut this guy, figure out how I want to cut this guy here. Let's see, we got one over here. So I think I want this to be a pretty strong angle here. All right, so if I measure from, so put the 1 inch there and go back 1 inch set here, and then the other edge 4.5 is right there. Does the manual tell you how much to cut that? Let's see here. 20 inches? What the heck are they talking about? They tapered down from half thickness to around 20 inches. How the heck would you do that? It'd be all the way back here. Oh, from half thickness. So they kind of went even. Geez, that's a long taper. It doesn't quite make sense though. Why would they leave the... So they show right here a blunt end and then the taper starting back. I think it should come right along the bow here and come back, and then maybe from there reduce it. Alright, so we'll come all the way back. So it'll be a 4 inch total. I'm gonna just start with this, just to get these things from poking, keeping them from poking me. Trim this edge up here. Alright, that's not too bad. A little bit of a void right where I cut. Oops. Standing with my back to the camera. Yeah, that'll work. I can, if I do a round over here on the edge, it'll help it a lot, I think. And then I can smooth this transition up, sanding it down a little bit too. I think that's good. I don't know. Like I said, I'm never really good with aesthetics and how things look. You know, I guess I could, if I wanted to, I could take another chunk off of this and then keep working back, I guess. I don't know. It's good enough for now. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on with the sanding with the belt sander after I go and figure out how much sandpaper I've got and how much I'm gonna need. Alrighty, took quite a while, but I did get the top of the rails and the sides mostly cleaned off here, so they're looking pretty good. I did take out all of the screws, the brass screws I had put in on the outside. So I think we're looking pretty good. I'm still debating with myself whether to go ahead and put the router to this edge or not yet, but I think I'm gonna wait. I did did miss the real instructions for this part here. You were supposed to do the half, and then on this part that was left here, you were supposed to round it. I was supposed to round it over and make it kind of a bullnose shaped here. But I don't know. I think this is fine. I don't think there's any problem, and I'll probably be doing something along the outside anyways for some kind of bumper rail or something, just to protect the wood. So the only thing. So yeah. So need to figure out if I'm going to route this over or not, and then I do want to. I think I am going to put a coat of clear epoxy over this top rail here, especially to seal up the end grain on this plywood. I think that's something I really want to do before I put the varnish. There will be a varnish thing that'll go on top here. So all right, so good. So the next thing is to do the center seat, the Dagger board trunk top. So let me get you set up and we'll talk through that and see how we're going to get that done. Okay, so the trunk here, need to open up that hole just like we did on the bottom. A couple things. So they want you to measure, find the center, and do the hole. And in fact, I think the manual actually has you cutting the top one first, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's much easier to cut the bottom one because you know where the screws are along the bottom, and you can measure from there. Up here, it'd be a little bit of a challenge, especially since we know I've got it in crooked. So yeah, it's pretty noticeable. I think it's gotten more crooked every time I look at it. That's all right. Anyway, so yeah, so they want you to measure and drill a hole and then use the router. Couple things. So I've got the boat sitting up pretty high, so I need to lower the boat down. But instead of trying to come through the top, I've actually got my secret weapon here, which is a long 3/8 inch drill bit. I think this is a 3/8 inch. Yep, 3/8 inch spade drill bit, and I'm just going to come up from the bottom in a couple spots, and that way we'll be able to locate it. Then I'll lower the boat down, and then we can route out the middle here and see how that looks. All right, got my drill bit on there. All right, so if the boat happens to fall on top of me, make sure somebody calls for help. And I've got a light shining up here so that I hopefully can get this drill bit centered in the slot. That looks about it, like a good spot. And one more just for luck. All right, that second one I drilled looks like it's a little bit more centered, so that's the one we'll use. All right, now I'll get the boat lowered down, and we'll be back to route out that hole. All right, first I need to widen the hole to 1/2 inch to fit the router bit in there, so we'll use this spade bit here. Definitely going to have to do something here pretty quick to the boat up on the skeg back there is a little bit precarious, so I'm going to have to figure something else out here to work on it. Plus, this is kind of low, and when I go to do some painting, it needs to be up a little bit higher. So if anybody's got any ideas on how to account for that skeg and get it lifted up a little bit, let me know. All right, so I got the flush trim router on here. Now I know I'm going to have some bobbles along here because of the epoxy that's squished out on the inside, but we should be able to get a decent hollow out here. Maybe if I get that a little bit bigger. Well, that went pretty bad. The ooze out was so bad that it pushed the router over onto the other side and actually got caught in a couple spots. So yeah, I got a big blob there and some other blobs. So we're gonna have to figure out how to clean that up, and let's see if I can get a good look at it here. Yeah, there's a big blob there. Once we do the round over on it, oops, I didn't even get this corner here. But once we get the round over on it, it should clear it up pretty good. I just need to get rid of some of this blobbage along here. So let me see if I can. I got to get the boat back in a better spot first. Let me pause here and figure this out. Okay, so I have the boat turned upside down, and my plan is to take this piece of plywood, and I've already got it marked here, and I'll cut out a slot, and then it can fit over that, and I'll put a long board or another board on the bottom here, and that'll be the stand. But more importantly, we've got a visitor here, and seems like he's pretty hungry. But you can see there's Mr. Herman the turtle. Say hi, everybody. Say hi there, Mr. Herman. Yep, he is chowing down on some good grub there. He comes and visits every once in a while, and just goes about and cleans up and gets all the good stuff. So we'll pause here and be back when I can get this brace for the skeg done. All right, this is what I ended up with. No judgment, no judging allowed. So I had a piece of scraps that I just threw together here. I had to put so I put one 2x4 on that side, and I put a cleat and a 2x4 on this side. Once we get some pressure on it, I think it'll be pretty good. It doesn't rock that way. It rocks back and forth a little bit. That's okay. So now I just got to turn the boat over, and hopefully when I sit the boat down on the stand, it'll be just about the right height. I've been using these buckets usually when I want to have a lower height, so I think we'll be pretty close, a little bit higher, but it should be pretty good. So let me see if we can get that done and see how that looks. All right, I don't record when I flip the boat over because it usually involves a lot of bad words. So, but we're pretty good. We're pretty steady. I don't know if you'll be able to see it down here, but we're sitting pretty good, and I think this is a good height. It's an okay height for me to get over here and work on this slot, clean it out, and then I'll be able to do some other stuff in here too that we need to get done. So anyways, but I'll pause here. The shop is absolutely a disaster area. I got all my tools out. So I better take a break here and do some cleanup, and then be back out tomorrow to see if we can get that dagger board slot cleaned up. All right, another day out here in the shed. I've got the boat all ready and set up so I could work on that dagger board trunk opening. The only problem is my back's acting up, and so we're not going to be able to work on that for a while probably. One of the problems here is that I've been working on the boat so much that I've been kind of too tired to go for my usual walks, and my walks is what helps my back. So I think I'm going to have to slow down on the boat build quite a bit, especially here in the next probably 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'll probably be doing minimal on the boat, so probably means maybe one video a week here after this one. We'll have to see how it goes, and then we start running into the problem of temperature here in Florida. So not really sure how we're going to progress in this. It's probably going to be pretty slow for the next little bit. I do have some work I can do hopefully here coming up this next week on this pile of stuff here. So this is the dagger board and rudder stuff that needs to be put together and worked on, so I can stand up and do that and it doesn't hurt my back at all. So I probably be working on that this week. Quite a bit of work. I looked at the manual, I was like, oh geez, there's quite a bit of work here to do. So we'll probably work on that here coming up next week, and we'll just play it by ear and see how it goes. So anyways, wanted to say thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Please leave me any comments, questions, suggestions down below. Please tell your friends about me, and please subscribe. Everyone, take care and be good.